Eric, you guys are 5 practices into this. With the new offensive coordinator, Sam, and all that. I guess how does it feel? Do you feel like you guys are kind of where you think you needed to be at this stage?
I think we're making some growth steps. I feel like Saturday we had some little things to clean up, taking care of the ball and depths of the routes and just the nuances of the offense. But I don't think guys are having a lot of EMAs, which is really good. It means guys are doing the studying at night. We're taking what we're learning and installs to the field. So it's just the little details, which is why training camps for, so we can iron those things out before we start playing games. But so far, I like the tempo which we're going with and the attitude that we're approaching practice. So that's a good foundation to start with.
You are clearly one of the faces of this franchise and have been now for a couple of years. That meant you were face of a franchise we're being used for a lot of the wrong reasons. What's it feel like, even if it's only a few days since the ownership change? Does it feel different now?
Yeah.
Just a little bit more like, how does it feel different now being one of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's humbling to be in this position to, grown as a player and as a leader. That's something I've always taken pride in, and to see Mr. Harris and the rest of the group that's been brought in there, a very impressive group of individuals, and they have a clear vision of how they want to get this organization back to where it once was back in the days. And one thing that strikes about him, he's just so personable, and it really shows that he cares about the wellness of the players and starts with us how he can improve what's going on here. So the communication with him has been great. The leaders have gotten to meet with him. I know he's been talking to the coaching staff and everybody like that. And it was great to see this place sold out on Saturday and the buzz and the energy that this place had. Something I hadn't probably quite experienced since I've been here, but it was just cool to feel that that energy that everybody's bringing, and now it's on us to put the work in now so we could give everybody something to cheer for and we can be consistent this year.
Hey Terry, I think we've been told the pads are coming on tomorrow. You always hear O-line, D-line get excited about that.
Definitely.
Do you get excited about that?
Oh, definitely, because I like, part of my game is I like to run my routes physical as well, and sometimes when you're running jerseys, it kind of allows you get grabbed a little bit more than you would like, but when you get the pads on, it's easier to use your hands, throw guys by, run through their chest a little bit, be a little bit more physical, and that's what I'm preaching to our wide receivers right now, because it's good to get practice against our DBs because all of them play a different technique, but the number one thing you can do as a receiver is use your physicality, hold your space, and I think that's going to be a growth step for all of us next week. Tomorrow, now that the pads are going to come on, because there's really no excuse to be getting grabbed on because you should be being physical with them as well. And it's going to help us over the course of the season when we go against some tough press man teams and guys who like to be physical. You got to have that in your repertoire to be ready, especially our bigger guys. The young guys who have bigger frames. That should be one of the staples of their game is physicality. So I'm excited, and when pads come on, it raises the level of camp because, quite frankly, a lot of guys can kind of look good in shorts and shirts, but now the physicality comes out a little bit more. It's hot, you've got pads a few days, so the mental grind of camp starts to weigh on you a little bit more, and that's when you got to start fighting through it and still be productive every day.
How's the connection going with Sam?
It's going well. I think he's obviously has a lot on his plate, learning the offense, has to go through the reads, and as a leader, I'm just trying to be where I need to be, make sure my timing, my spacing is correct, and Coach Bobby's doing a great job of echoing that with the receivers, and I think we make his job easier by being where we need to be, so he doesn't have to worry about not only the checks, the reads, getting the call in, but dang, my guys are not at the right depth. So, I'm taking ownership of that. We're all still learning the offense, but one thing about him, he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field, which is exciting, and he's going to give guys a chance to make a play down the field, and he throws a really nice deep ball. So, he's growing. I like how he's doing and how he's communicating with us as well.
Terry, you put your expectations, but this whole offense is different. How are you kind of thinking about your production this year?
Yeah, I think EB really preaches, selflessness, and it's not really necessarily about your touches or about the yards you're going to put up individually, but how you bring what you need to this offense to make us successful as a team. And so that's something that's always at the forefront of my mind, how I could be my best self for the team, and if that's coming out here and putting up big stats, that's what I'm prepared to do. I know I can do, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's asked of me and be somebody EB and Sam can trust. But at the end of the day, you want to be the workman, the bell cow, But I'm just focused on trying to be the best leader that I can, but also making sure I'm improving as an individual and learning this offense.
Terry, it is another year where you do have another new quarterback, and that's been a storyline throughout your time here.
Yeah.
But I'm curious on how you approach that when did you get used to like, well, sometimes it just changes, and is there a different level of optimism this time?
Yeah, shoot. Probably about year 2 or year 3, you know what I mean? I kind of was like, there's a little bit of turnover at the quarterback position, but at that point, you know, I already had in my mind, like, I don't use that as an excuse as to why I don't do my job, and I don't use that as a crutch to be why I'm not making plays, or, you know, there's multiple quarterbacks, so I don't want to use that as a hindrance as to what that it dictates my outcome and my performance. Obviously, we know that's something that factors my position, but I've never used it as a crutch. And with Sam, it's been great so far. It was good to get a feel for him, obviously, in the last game against Dallas. But as we've gone over the course of this offseason, we've thrown together, we've done some reps out here. I think one thing that strikes me with him is we have a nuanced connection. Even with Dayami, he just has a good feel of throwing the ball down the field. And we really don't have to talk about landmarks and putting air under the ball. He just has a really good feel of throwing the ball down the field, and that's a strength of my game. I know that's a strength of a lot of our receivers' game, and I think that's something that we're looking forward to being trying to put on the field this year is taking those shots down the field, but also being consistent and underneath routes and spacing the ball out, things like that. So it's been great so far, and I'm excited to work with him, and hopefully we can. He's going to be our guy for the future.
Well, and how much has that instability, not just your game, but the
Yeah.
franchise as a whole, that instability at that position, how much has it really kind of hindered things over the last several years?
Well, everybody knows, you know, this is a quarterback-driven league, and everybody's looking for their guy. And you know, if you look at the guys who won the Super Bowl and they consistently in the playoffs, they have that guy that they've been relying on for some time now. And you know, obviously we're still looking for that guy. I think we've had success. I think we've had guys come in here and help us win games. And I've learned from all the guys I've gotten to play with. But you know, obviously we just want someone who's going to be consistently out there and continue to grow with us as a group. And you know, I'm confident in the quarterbacks we have in that building right now. That hopefully that's going to be happening. And I think Sam has, like I said, done a great job of being a leader at such a young age. But he has a confidence about him that is you can't help but to notice. So I'm excited to work with him along with the rest of our group and our offense, and we're going to see where we're going to go from there.
Last one.
Terry, you mentioned the confidence from the first start in Week 18 that Sam had through this point in camp.
Yeah.
Just mentally, how have you seen him handle the huddle, handle his position? Has that grown a little bit?
Yeah, to be honest, you really don't even see him get flustered. Even when he's had a few maybe rough patches during practice, he doesn't hang his head. He's not yelling, cussing, things like that. He stays pretty even keel, which is really unique for a young guy like that. And not only that, I think that struck me in the Dallas game because we had a turnover, but he still wasn't afraid to push the ball down the field. And I think with this being a passing league, you still got to stay aggressive. It's really cool to see a young guy who's not afraid to continue to get his guys catches or guys opportunities down the field. Because at the end of the day, our receivers and our group are going to have to fight through some adversity. The defense are going to make plays across the season, but the last thing we do is get down on each other. I think EB echoes that a lot, like staying consistent in what we do. And I think that starts with the quarterback. And so far, he's done a really good job. And I know he still has time to grow, but that comes with us rallying around him and doing our jobs to make his job easier.